hopefully. Right, let's see if we can roll with this. Welcome to the stream. If you're joining this and watching later, we are going to be doing a bit of some upgrades on this guy here. This is my Tokyo Marui MP7A1. I've already actually kind of done a bit of some upgrade work to it. I actually put in this Maple Leaf Crazy Jet barrel, and that went in, but I discovered that this front panel that Tokyo Marui used by default prevents this going on. So what happens is it gets stuck like so, and what I'm going to do is just switch to the top here. So what we have is this panel fits on the front and it stops because there's essentially a piece in the there which actually stops and changes the width of this barrel. So in order to fix this, we acquired a part, which is this guy here. This is from PDI. It's called the PDI Muzzle Base. And essentially what this does is it's a through piece that replaces this and has no change in diameter internally, and that enables you to sort of get through. So if I just get into this, and what we can see, that's the new one. If we take on calipers, for example, and I'll just zero those. So by default, the normal is 8 or 9 mil diameter, and then the thing is it drops down to a 7 mil diameter. So that's enough for a BB to get through, but not enough for the barrel to get through. So this new piece here has a wider internal diameter, so it's 8.6, which is enough for the barrel to go through, but it doesn't change it doesn't change. So the end result is that will go through. So that's the first part we're going to fit, and we're going to fit on the front. We also have a couple of other parts that we might fit, depends on how I'm feeling. But we have a Creation recoil spring and spring guide set for the MP7. We also have an enhanced loading nozzle for the MP7 as well. Now we do have another bit of an extender, which we may or may not use, which basically that goes on there, and that just gives you a little bit more length at the end there, but we probably won't use that. So first things first, so this is the MP7. I'm going to pop this to one side whilst I sort out this first. This is the easy one, and we're going to get that. So we need a screwdriver, and we've got 3 screws to remove so we can take this plastic off. So I want a nice screwdriver. So hopefully should be a very straightforward thing to do. This piece should just lift off once we've got the screws undone. So there we've got the plastic piece off, and then this, the old section, just drops off, and then we can pop in this new and just push it in. It clips in like so. And we take the plastic top on, pop that back, and then we can tighten up the screws. And tighten that up. Being careful not to strip the heads of the screws. They're quite soft, these screws, and I can feel them as you're tightening them slipping and so on. So basically what we should be able to do now is pop that on there and then push in the catch, and that now is properly on there, and we've got that, and we can fit our flash hider on there like so, and that is essentially good. But we're going to take that off for the moment because we are going to open this up, so we need this off. So this panel on the front is, there's a little catch here you push in and it should just slide off. So that's worked, that's good, that solved that problem. Let's get into this. We need to take the back section off here, and this back section pops off and we can get into the bolts and everything else inside. So I need a couple of Allen keys type screws. So I have this Lilacs sling. Brain completely froze there for a moment. Lilacs sling system on here, and that kind of goes through one of the standard bolts that goes through on the piece, which is pretty cool. And it has a screw at the top, which need the bigger size. And that just screws into the top rail, into there. Takes the place of the original weaver rail pin. Then this guy here actually is a screw pin, so just need to screw that. I am using my iFixit toolkit for all my tools today. And so that is a great toolkit, if you, by the way, if you want to get one. They're really, really handy. Tons of different tools. Tons of different tools. Right. Which round is that? That way around. Okay, so the back should just slide out. Take the handle off first off, and that should pop out. So that is the bolt, the recoil spring, and then the charging handle and the buffer. There is a piece in here, this guy here, which is where the that's good, and that's actually all connected to this front end piece and the thing, and that's all the hop and everything else. So we are kind of done with this for the moment. Not sure why, but the stream on Facebook has got terminated. So I just need to double check what's going on. Not sure what's going on here. Hi Woodbound Airsoft. So the upgrades that are going into this are, I've just done a barrel and hop change on this, and I'm now going to do recoil spring and nozzle. So the nozzle is a creation nozzle, and then we've got a creation recoil spring as well. So hopefully you are seeing this, but yeah, we are doing a recoil spring and the thing. So this recoil spring should be fairly straightforward. And the stream is a bit choppy at the moment. I don't know why. But we also have this, which is the nozzle. So let's take a look at the nozzle. The recoil spring is fairly easy to do. So the original one is actually, let's have a look at the original one actually. So the actual original recoil spring is a 0.59 millimeter turn, and that's a 0.66. So this is a slightly stronger spring than the default one. So we'll take that to one side. So yeah, I just need to check how we're. Keep checking the thing. So sorry if the actual drops, but I have been having issues with the stream. Fortunately, internet is being a bit of a pain. So let's have a look at these. This is the nozzle. So we have a new nozzle which goes into the bolt here. We have a bag of bits which goes with it. So we have, so kind of need to so this, kind of figuring out where everything goes. So this looks like it goes on the front here. Not sure. Think. Okay, I think. Oh, I see. So it's kind of think pretty right, so that goes there like so. Tiny one, the smaller of the thin springs. This one will go there, I think. So that will go into there. This is the nozzle. So the nozzle has a screw. So that screw is going to go into that hole there. This is going to sit on top of this. So the valve spring will sit like so. That will sit in that will sit in that hole. So in the middle of this there is a hole at the top. So in the top here there's a hole that's going to go in there. Down at the bottom the valve's going to sit on top of that. Then this will sit on top of that, and then that will be screwed into the side here. So let's try and get this lined up. The idea is that what will happen is when the gas pushes through, it will push this valve into the hole, thus blocking it coming out of this nozzle here. That's the principle. And then gas, that kind of goes in that way. Yep. So hopefully, see what size screwdriver we need. Hopefully everyone's still on and can see. So what I'll do is I'll just push don't think that's in. I think that's in properly, so the trick with these is getting them all lined up. Can be sometimes a little tricky. Fortunately, the inside is round, and of course the thing we're actually putting in there is not round. It's kind of slightly It's got a slight bevel to one side. And it's kind of smaller. So I just want to kind of and hopefully we can get this screw in. Which is easier said than done. And unfortunately, I think the screw's in the wrong spot. Must have twisted it as I was actually screwing it in. So annoying. So I decided to do this as a stream and not as a video. At least for the stream I can take my time. Hopefully that's so in theory that should be right. So let's just have a look at this, see how this is. Okay, so let's have a look at this bolt. Okay, so this is the retention for the spring. So this is this big spring here, but the original retention spring that comes with this. Try to see if we can get this out. Okay, so just pop that to one side. Okay, I need a large Torx of some form. So take this apart. So takes this front piece off. That front piece allows that to slide out, and that's your entire bolt. You've got your piston in here, which we haven't got one to swap. No, there wasn't one included in this. So this is the, where did I put it? There it is. So this is the new nozzle. This is the old nozzle. In the old nozzle, we've got this spring unit at the front, which we've popped on there. The valve basically sits, and just inspecting these, they are the same kind of mechanism. Same fit. So what we need to do anyway is grease this all up, get this ready to go on here, because this is a new one that's going to go in like so. The new spring will go in the top, and this spring stop there. So what we need is a bit of grease, which we will put on the inside of here. Hopefully everyone's seeing everything. There's no drops or anything. So we'll put a little bit more just before we thing, and just spread that around inside. I did have some tissue. Hold on a second. Just need some tissue to wipe my hands, the grease off my hands. Okay, we will spray everything with silicone oil once we've got this on. So pop that in there. A few of these to lubricate the old inside of there. I'm going to spray and I'm going to just the outside. Give it a bit of lube, make sure it's all nice and loose. Okay, then we can re-add this. Just notice this is a little bit a little bit of rust there, so I'm going to tighten that up with a bit of lube on it. Tighten that Torx nut up. It's nice and tight. So that's going to stop that going too far forward, which is basically the idea. And then we need to add the spring. That spring is held in place by this, which goes in there. Go. Okay, that spring's held in, so we just need our screw popping back. Don't want anything to fly off, so I'm just holding that down. Down screw. And we are just tighten this up. That's now tight. That returns back nicely. Spring turn spring's doing nicely, doing its job. We will of course lube this all back up when we put it back in the gun. We have our spring here as well. Let's give the spring a bit of a thing. We'll do the bolt as well. So basically popping this all back together, that will go in like so. And what we need to do is take this, and this goes in a certain way. The pin of that goes into there. The top of this goes onto the top of that, and that should go like so. And hopefully I'll pop this on the front just in case, give some protection to the front of the gun. Sure this is right. What's going on with this? So, just pull this off. sure why that's catching. Something is not quite aligned. It's not quite aligned at the top. Spring. Swap this for this one a minute. Oh yeah. Feels a little too long. Okay. They are the same length. Right, so the new recoil spring is just a tad longer than the old recoil spring, like probably about 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, and it's the end piece. This piece in the other one is a little bit faster, so it just has a little extra kind of stickiness when going into the not sure why that's not working. Do I have a full gas mag? Just that bolt is not returning. if we can address that. See if this makes a difference. Hopefully this makes a difference. I don't see why it shouldn't have a problem. Just have to wipe this all down. I've got quite a bit of silicone oil everywhere. Okay, that was weird. This spring is maybe a little too tight. I don't know. Hold on. Sorry about that. There was someone at the door. So that works. So the interesting thing is it the spring guide? Something in this spring that's just not, maybe it's too strong? I do want to use this new recoil spring, so kind of puzzled with how that's stopping it returning. So let's see how this is. Just wondering how this has managed to stop. That's quite, I mean, this spring guide is quite rough. Let me try this again. See if we can see what we can do this time out. Went in a bit better. Let's try with some gas in a minute once I've got this tightened up. See how this goes. Oh, that is just interesting. Maybe it's the spring guide. Maybe it is the spring guide. So this is a Creation recoil spring and spring guide. Not sure why. I mean, that went together pretty easily this time. Not sure why. It's just really, it feels rough. Like this whole, sorry. So this whole spring on the actual guide feels really rough, whereas this one feels very smooth. So what I'm actually thinking is, can I use the same spring guide for the original spring as this one and swap the spring over? And maybe the original spring guide will work better than the old. So we pop the old spring guide on the new spring, which is a slightly stronger spring. Pop the pins back. Oops. Let's get this screwed back up. Right. Cocked it. So this is the Creation spring guide, and there's something in the spring guide that's causing something in the spring to jam when it's been cocked. I've used the original TM spring guide with the new spring, so the new spring's a bit more recoil on it. And there we have. So if we that's looking really nice. Feeling pretty nice. So I haven't cleaned a bit of crap out from the inside of that as well. So just need to wipe things down on the outside. It's a bit oily. That's fine. And we can put our stock back on. Just can I remember how to get that in. Stock goes back in. There we go. Right, what we need now is let's pop some of these bits away, and I need those two for the top side. I need to find. Did I leave it in there? I left it in there. Okay, so that goes in the top. Screw that back. Should have got a black version of this mat, but shows up the grease a lot less. But we are pretty much done. Pop the screws back on the sling, tighten those nice and tight so they don't come loose. Same on the top, nice and tight. Check those are all basically good. So we have that done. We need to put our flash hider back. And flash hiders in, and then we need to so I just have to look down the barrel, just make sure that the thing, and then we have our Airsoft Artisan Surefire Clone mock suppressor on. Just has to go on there, be nice and tight. Pop in a mag, the cock, see, slide the bolt forward, and we can fire. And there we have it, one MP7A1 from Tokyo Marui. We have upgraded on this. The barrel was a inner barrel, a maple leaf 150mm barrel that went in. We put in a PDI Muzzle Base so that we could use that slightly longer barrel, because the stock Tokyo Marui barrel is 145mm long, and this muzzle base that they use has a kind of a step change about here of about, I think it's like 3mm that stops the barrel going in. We popped in a Creation nozzle, which is essentially replaced this Tokyo Marui one, along with some springs. We replaced the Recoil spring with a slightly stronger one from Creation. Now, what we've had to do, because for some reason that we were getting some sticking with this is the Creation spring guide. Now, just feeling this, it feels really rough, and you can just hear you can hear that roughness as the metal on metal. What I think you'd probably have to do with this is go over with some fine grit sandpaper. There's also, this is kind of bent, but what I've done is I've actually used the stock spring guide, and it's worked quite nicely. The other thing I found with this is the other end of that spring guide. This is too fat and a little bit too long. So all in all, that kind of, I'm not rating that spring guide. So this was the Recoil spring guide from Creation. It's 150% enhanced recoil spring. I think with it, the guide is a bit rough. The quality on it is not brilliant, but what we've got is a new nozzle in there as well. So we'll see how that fares. We'll do some test shooting with this tomorrow and see how it goes, and basically see how that fares. But effectively, that is it. That is the Tokyo Marui MP7A1, all upgraded. It's a really nice gun. Nice gun stock. It's going to be even better upgraded. I say with the maple leaf barrel, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. It's got a new maple leaf hop rubber in it as well. It is looking really, really smart. I do like this gun. So with that, thank you for watching. Sorry about the dropout earlier on in the stream. Hopefully I will try and munge together the parts, and I'll repost it. So you basically have one complete video. So thanks for watching, and we shall see you guys next time, next video. Please hit the subscribe button on the channel, by the way. Hit the like button on this video, or the repost of this video when it goes public. Also, check out the recent videos on the channel. So just before I did this stream, there was a Garmin Tactics Delta review, so go check that one out. That's really good. But yeah, come back, watch the streams. Also check out my Straight Gaming channel as well. But with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.